Hello, I'm Darren Robertson. This is Make It Delicious, Flavours of Australia. In this series, we'll be introducing some native Australian ingredients, making them easy for you guys to cook in your home. I'm going to be working with fellow Aussie chef Nornie Bero. She's going to be sharing her tips, her tricks and her personal stories around these beautiful ingredients.
So it's about getting those natural flavours that already come off the tree and into your dish.
Before we start today's cooking challenge, Nornie will be selecting a native ingredient. And then we'll meet back in the kitchen to see what recipe I can come up with. I've used that over the years in restaurants, never at home. I'm Darren Robertson and this is Make It Delicious, Flavours of Australia.
So growing up, especially in the Torres Strait for me, everything we got was from nature. So as a kid, you would just walk around and your snack wouldn't be something that you would get from a 7-Eleven down the street. All your snacks came from plants. Australia has these amazing natives all around that we can just pick straight off the tree and eat. So today I've chosen kangaroo mince. So kangaroo mince for Indigenous people in general is really great because it is one of those red meat sauces and it's more accessible. Because it's got that really low fat content, it's really healthy to eat. So I'll be really interested to see what he's going to do with it. I hope it might be, you know, a lasagna or really great with tacos because it brings you that really nice gamey flavour to it as well. But then again, I would love him to be using more natives with it because those pepper berries, bush tomatoes, all of those come out really beautifully with this meat.
Nornie Bero.
Hi, how you doing?
How you going, darling? You all right?
Good.
All right, what are we doing?
All right, so we've got kangaroo, pepperberry, and bush tomatoes.
Kangaroo I'm a big fan of. I've used that over the years in restaurants. Never at home, embarrassingly.
Well, it's everywhere. You can get it everywhere. So we should be using more of it. Plus it's sustainable.
Yeah.
And it's good for you, lean.
And then bush tomato, these puppies I've never really used before, to be honest.
Well, I call them the Indigenous stock cube because they're really delicious. It has a familiar taste to it as well. If you want to use it, you don't be afraid of it because you've tasted it before. Right. And they look like baby little eggplants.
So that's it fresh. Love it. So for these, I'm going to start with a dish that's so familiar to most Aussies. It's a bit of a go-to, certainly in our house. So I'm going to do a bolognese, a kangaroo bolognese, using the pepper berries and the bush tomatoes.
Perfect.
That's it.
An Australian bolognese.
A legit Australian bolognese. So first up, we're going to chop pancetta. So we'll chop that nice and fine. So you can go lardons if you like, or finely diced. And a couple of tablespoons of olive oil just to get the party started. And so that's going to be like, give it sort of 3 or so minutes just to kind of render down and crispen up.
You want to get a bit of colour on it.
I think it's nice. I think it just makes such a difference. All right, so now in with the old the kangaroo meat before we get too dark.
I like the gaminess that comes off the kangaroo too for me. That flavour just adds a different kind of flavour to it as well. Makes it a little bit more unique and also just, I love the idea of using sustainable meats.
And then now I'm going to season that up with a good pinch of salt flakes. And then a decent pinch of the pepper berry.
Yeah, you want to get that really good flavour out of it.
It's looking good. And then whilst that's doing its thing, I'm just going to chop an onion, chop some carrot, and smash up some garlic. Give them a little stir of dreams.
Making sure you cook it on a high heat and understanding to leave it on as well. You know, let it burn a little bit, let those caramelizations come out to it as well.
But all these little bits here where it's sort of caramelizing around the outside, we're going to deglaze that later with our stock. So I'm really happy with that. All right, I reckon she's about ready actually. So all the juices have evaporated. I'm now going to turn the heat down a touch. We're going to wind in our carrot, our onion and garlic. Stir him in. Now I'll cook that for sort of 3 or 4 minutes, just so it goes nice and translucent. Okay, and then whilst the vegetables are sweating down, I'm just going to smash up these beautiful bush tomatoes. The veggies, as you can see, are nice and sort of translucent now. Next, we're going to add some tomato paste. So I like to fry this off as well. And then we're going to go our beautiful bush tomato. And then next we're going to deglaze our bolognese pan with the Massel chicken stock. So I'm going to wind some of that in. pan's nice and clean now, sitting at the bottom of the pan. And then finally, just some chopped tomatoes. And then we're going to turn down the heat and just gently cook this, gently simmer it for about 45 minutes. Whilst that's doing its thing, chuck on some water, bring it up to boil. We'll season that with plenty of salt. And we're going to use that to cook our pasta. Is this quite the norm for you to throw in pepper berries and bush tomatoes in a bolognese?
Yeah,
or
because
is that you just...
Yeah, because it just enhances like a lot more flavour than you naturally have at home. Because normally you put your stock in and then you have salt and pepper. So it's about getting those natural flavours that already come off the tree and into your dish.
So the pasta's about there. I will just reserve a touch of the pasta water to adjust the consistency of my sauce. Sort of thickens it slightly as well. The pasta's ready. Touch of oil just to stop him sticking. Check out our sauce. So I'm pretty happy with that. I suppose we should serve it up now. So a couple of bowls. So I would just pop this in the middle of the table in our house. Let the family just sort of fight over it and feed themselves. And then I'm going to finish this with a touch of olive oil, some grated parmesan, just some torn basil just to finish it off. Look at that. Let's go and eat, shall we?
Cheers. This looks so good.
I'm feeling the pressure.
That's so good.
How good is it?
Yeah, it's really good.
Because it's so clean, using that kangaroo.
You can taste all those nice caramelized bits that came off the pan too as well, which I really, really love about it, because it adds to the nice natural oiliness that it comes off those tomatoes and everything that's in there too as well. And you can taste the pepper berries and also the bush tomato in there, which is quite really lovely feeling for me.
Yeah, thank you. I'm stoked with that. The native ingredients has definitely given it a lot more character. So it's something that we're so familiar with this dish. I think as Aussies, you know, I mean, wherever you are.
Yeah, wherever you are, bolognese is probably cooked everywhere in the world, and to bring it to that native flavour that we've got, it makes it really delicious. Nailed it. I don't think you can add any more really awesome flavours in there, so thank you.
Thank you.
Really crushed it.
Thanks for watching Make It Delicious Flavours of Australia. Next time we'll be looking at some more native ingredients that you guys can bring to your home cooking. Cheers.
Thanks. Let's go eat.